Hello everyone, my name is Harender Jangra, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install SCCM current branch 2103. I already taken two virtual machines. I already created these two virtual machines. Nothing else I installed in these two machines. I just installed two virtual machines. In these two virtual machines, I have installed Windows Server 2019 and the IP address will be 10.00.50 and this will be the server where we will install Active Directory. So our host name will be AD and our domain name will be cisco.com. So guys, you can use any name. So in this lab, we will use these naming conventions. And this is my second virtual machines where same OS is installed, Windows Server 2019, and IP address will be 10.00.51, and this will be the DNS IP. So host name will be MECM, and our FQDN name is mecm.cisco.com. Let me show you these two virtual machines. Before that, let me show you the configuration of these two virtual machines. So in AD machines, I have provided 4 GB RAM and 4 virtual processor. And in MECM machines, I have provided 8 GB RAM and 4 logical processor, virtual processor. So this is my AD machine. Let me show you the property of this virtual machine. So we need to change the computer name before proceeding further and the 4 GB RAM we have. So let me change the host name first. So our host name will be AD. Just to restart. And this is my SCCM machine where we will install SCCM server. Let me show you the property of this virtual machines. In this machine, I have provided 8 GB RAM and you can see Windows Server 2019 standard OS is installed. So let me change the host name of this machine also. So we will use MECM name. Just apply and just do restart your machine. I just installed Windows Server 2019 in these two machines and did all Windows update. So the first thing we need to install Active Directory. So guys, I'm just writing all the steps that we will use to follow to install our SCCM server. Install Active Directory. And configure DNS server. So let's do this thing. Go to your AD machine and to install Active Directory, there is some prereq. So first you should have a static IP address. So static IP address will be, we will use 10.00.50 and our router IP address is 10.0.0.1. So I'm providing it, and same IP address of this machine you will have to enter in DNS server, because this server will also going to become a DNS server. And password should be enabled whenever you install any server operating system. So in first attempt, it will ask to provide the password. So I already provided the password. and second, you should have a DHCP. You should have a static IP address. That's it. So server operating system is already there, and these are the prereq to install Active Directory. So now we can install Active Directory in this machine, guys. So how you can install Active Directory? Just open Server Manager, click on Add Roles and Features. Next, next. This is the server where we are installing Active Directory. Yes. On server role selection page, you will have to select Active Directory Domain Services role. Add feature. Next. Nothing else you need to take. Just click on next, next, and install. Once you install this role, then you will have to configure it. So click on prompt this server to a domain controller and choose add a new forest. Provide the domain name, any name you can use. So in my case, I am using cisco.com. Functional level you can use as per your requirement. Actually, this task is taken care by Wintel or AD team. So uh, we are using higher forest functional level. So don't do any change and just provide the DSRM password. So same password I am writing here. You can enter any password. Next. So it will automatically pick its NetBIOS domain name. Next. So in this folder, actually its database is going to create. So this is our test machine. So we can use this directory. Otherwise, Microsoft recommend you should never, you should not use a C drive for Active Directory database and log files folder, because this is operating system drive, and if operating system get corrupt, so your whole database will get lost. So in our case, we can use it because this is our test machine. Next, next. Click on install. Now we can see it has been successfully completed. So simply click on close. Automatically it will restart this machine. Just wait. It is applying computer settings, so we just need to wait a little bit more. It's taking too long time. Yeah. So finally, we can see it is asking us to log in with the domain credentials. So we will log in with administrator, domain administrator. Now it has become Active Directory. It has become domain controller. Log in with the domain administrator and to cross verify your Active Directory has successfully installed or not. So simply you will have to follow some steps. So first of all, you just need to open local area connection so that your domain name can be visible here. When you install Active Directory and you restart this machine, so by default our DNS IP will get changed. So we have to revert back it 10.00.50. So your original IP address, and then you can disable once and you can enable it so that your domain name can be visible on Ethernet. Yeah, now we can see cisco.com is visible for us. And after that, you just need to open Windows admin tools and open Active Directory users and computers. So here our domain name is visible, and when you expand this, you can see these are the OU and containers. So you can create your own OU. So let's create a OU with the name of MECM or any name you can. So in this OU, I am going to create a service account. So through this service account, I will install SCCM server and provide the password. and just ensure password never expire should be marked. So SCCM admin is a domain user. So through this user account, we will install SCCM server. So let me, this is not a best practice actually. Uh, you can add this user under a domain admin groups, but this is not a recommended method. Ideally, you should not use a domain admin account to install any service or anything, because domain admin can have a lot of different powers. So to install that particular service, we just need rights of that particular service. We don't need full domain admin rights. But in our lab scenario, we can use it so that every time we don't need to add it in local admin. So let me add this under domain admins group. So now you have to configure DNS server. So whenever you open command prompt and you type nslookup, there is a command line through which you can check your DNS server is working, is responding or not. So you can use this command line to test it. So nslookup, just press enter and it will show you the request timed out. So it means our DNS server is not responding properly or not configured. So let me open a local area connection again and let me disable IPv6 because we are not going to use IPv6 and it is still picking IPv6 in nslookup. So we can untick this and now we have to configure DNS server. So how you can configure DNS server? So just open Windows admin tool and there is a option for DNS. Just expand it. So DNS is a server which is used to uh, mainly used for domain naming conventions. So there has two zone, forward lookup and reverse lookup. So forward lookup zone is automatically configured. We don't need to configure it. And there is an entry width of our host name of our AD. And you have to create a reverse lookup zone and then you have to create a PTR record. So how you can create reverse lookup zone? Right click on reverse lookup zone, click on next. Yes, primary zone we are going to create and default option we are taking. Yes, IPv4 and provide your network ID. So just provide the first 3 octet and then click on reverse lookup zone name next. And it depends on you guys, how do you want to configure your DNS server. In my case, I am using allow both non-secure and secure dynamic updates, but in production you should not use this option because your DNS server can update all records that is non-secure. So non-secure means that is the machine that is not in our domain. So maybe there is a scenario where a outsider client machine can get an IP address from our DHCP server. So that machine entry also will be updated on our DNS server. So that's why we should not use this option, but this is our test machine. So we can use this. Next and finish. Now we have to create a PTR record. So expand this and just right click on free space and click on new pointer. So why we are creating pointer record? Actually, for one time, we are mapping a manual entry for our IP to host name. So provide the complete IP address of your domain and just click on browse, double click on AD and forward lookup, double click on your domain name and go bottom and just choose the host name of your AD machine. So this is one time activity. Manual, you are mapping a IP address to host name entry so that in next time it can automatically get update other records. So now again we need to check NS lookup. So right click on this and click on launch NS lookup. Now we can see our DNS server is responding with our domain name and IP address. If you write here your IP address, so it should show your FQDN. So we have successfully configured our DNS server. So now let's come on our second steps. So join MECM machine into domain. So now our second step will be we have to join our MECM machine into domain. Let's come on our SCCM machine and log in with local admin. Provide the same series of IP address, static IP address. So I will use 10.0.0.51 and I will use 10.0.0.1 as a gateway. And in DNS server, I will have to provide our Active Directory IP address 10.0.0.50. Okay. Both machines should be communicated with each other. Means I mean to say like both machines should be in same network. So before domain join, you can test it 10.0.0.50 and machine is pingable. Now I can join this machine into domain. So how you can join a machine into domain? Just open the property of this PC and go to change setting and change and click on domain and just provide your domain name. So my domain name is cisco.com and just click on OK. So it will ask us to provide domain credentials who have rights to join this machine into domain. So I will use SCCM admin account to join this machine into domain. And it had successfully joined machine into domain. So just restart this machine. Guys, now you can log in with that particular service account. So I will log in with SCCM admin account because everything I will have to do with this account. In this machine, I'm going to off our firewall so that communication will not break, because by default your firewall blocks a lot of things. So in both machines, you can do firewall off. If you don't want to do firewall off, then you will have to configure some rules, and then you have to configure some inbound, outbound rules, allow some ports. So next step is you have to extend Active Directory schema on your AD machine. Extend AD schema on AD machines and create system management container and delegate it. So why we need to extend Active Directory schema? So guys, whenever you install SCCM client agent, So if you run ccm setup.exe, so it contact to Active Directory to obtain some other information like site code, SMS MP name, and all other required things. So in case if your AD schema is not extended, then your machine won't be able to get those information automatically. So in that case, we will have to provide those information manual. So that's why we have to extend Active Directory schema so that our SCCM can publish its required information on system management container. So that's why we extend Active Directory schema. So how you can do it? First, we need to extend schema, and then we need to create a system management container. So how you can do this? Go to Active Directory machine, and you have to extend Active Directory schema on AD machine. This is one-time activity, guys. So this is my SCCM machine, and in my SCCM machine in C drive, I already copied some media. So I already copied all SCCM installation media. So if you open this, so you will see there is a installer file for our SCCM 2103. So whenever you extract this file, automatically it will be extracted on C roots. So in this folder, so there is a folder SMS setup bin x64, and in this particular path there is a file ext.adscs. So this exe will have to run on AD machine to extend Active Directory schema. So we will use this exe to extend Active Directory schema on AD machine. So I will browse this path. Let's come on our SCCM, AD machine, and just browse your MECM folder. MECM. Yeah, in this file, SMS setup bin x64, and just there is a ext adscs. Right click on this and right click on this exe and click on run as admin, run. So it will take 2 to 3 seconds, and once it will complete, it will create a log file, text file on C root ext.adscs. So through this logs, you can verify your schema has extended or not. So now you can verify your schema has successfully extended. So what it has added these attributes and classes in AD: site boundary, MP, site code, and your all these information. Now we have to create system management container. So how you can create it? Go to Windows admin, and there is a option for ADSI edit. Right click on this and click on connect to. Default naming context you will have to choose. Just expand this. So in this path, we have to find a system. Yeah, system cn equal to system. There is a container, and under this container, we will have to create a new container with the name of system management. So right click on this and click on new and click on object. And choose container option from this list and click on next. Now provide the name system and space management. So name should not be incorrect. System space management, and click on next and finish. So now we have to delegate some rights on this container. So for which object we need to delegate it? Actually, we have some object like SCCM admin is also account which where we need to give some rights on the system management container. And there is a machine MECM So in this machine also we have to delegate it, and all some other things you can use, like let me create a group, servers, and in this group let me add all these all those objects which we have to delegate it. So click on members and click on add. So first I will use SCCM admin, and second I can use administrator, and I will use computer account for MECM, and AD machine I will take AD machine. Yeah. So these four objects I'm taking in this group. Okay, apply. Okay. Now simply I can delegate this group. So all these four objects will get rights on system management container. How you can do this? So simply open Active Directory users and computers, click on views and click on advanced features. So once you click on advanced features, you will see all the hidden items. So expand system and open the system management container which we created earlier. So there is a container system management. Right click on this and click on delegate control. Click on next and provide the all four objects or a particular group where you have added these objects. So yeah, I already created a group, servers. So rather than to add all four objects individually, so simply you can use group. And yes, I want to delegate this group. Click on next, and you have to choose create a custom task to delegate. Next, don't need to do anything on this page. Simply click on next. And in this page, we have to choose all options, full control. Make sure all options should be selected. Simply click on next and click on finish. So we have created system management container and we have delegated it. That's it. So the thing which we had to done on AD machines, we already covered. Now we need to do some other task on our SCCM machine. So what other task we need to use? So we need to install some roles and features on MECM machines like IIS, .NET framework, and BITS, remote differential compression. And guys, there is some small IIS features which you need to choose. You don't need to select all IIS features. So simply you can use a PowerShell script which can enable only required components. So let me show you that. So guys, there is a PowerShell command line. I will add this command line on YouTube description, so you can use this. So this is a command line, and this is a PowerShell command line. You can use it to install all these features, like what exactly it is doing. Web feature, .NET, and all these things. So there is a source path. So you can use this path if internet is not working in your machine, or you can skip it if internet is working in your machine. So let me use it. Open PowerShell, run as admin, and just paste it and click on. So what it is saying. Okay. So if it is not working, maybe there is some problem in command line. So guys, simply you can find this PowerShell script from Google. Let me find it again. Maybe there is some syntax error. Yeah. So in this page, you can get it. Yeah, this one. We can use it. And in this path, you can use any drive. So let me check if we have D drive is mounted in this machine or not. So we don't have Windows Server ISO file mounted in this machine. So we can add it. Go to Hyper-V virtual machine property and go to your DVD drive image path. Now just add the your Windows Server ISO. Apply. Okay. And now we can see D drive is there. Just open it. Sources SXS. So guys, this is a path. Actually, we needed this path to install some roles and features. So you can add this path. Yeah, D sources SX. That's it. So now you can use this command line, PowerShell script. Go to PowerShell, try to run it. Okay. Yeah. Now it has started to install all these things. So you can see right now it is installing this feature, Web-Windows-Auth. So it will show all the installation status in top. So let it be finished. So now it is adding a remote differential compression RDC. You can see you must restart the server to finish the installation process. Okay, so it has given some warnings. You must restart the server to finish the installation process. So let it be complete, and once it will complete, then we will restart the server. So now it is adding .NET framework features. And mainly for this feature only, it requires source folder. So we can see it has added remote differential compression, bits, background intelligent transfer service, and these are the some IIS features. So IS6 WMI compatibility, metadata compatibility, and application development IISAPI extensions, and Windows-Auth, along with .NET framework features. So finally, we can see it has been completed this process. Now we can restart this machine. So it is completed. Oh, sorry. Still it is running. So it has started installation. Now it is adding this feature, Web-Asp-Net. Okay, so the last line is, I guess there is something is missing. Maybe there is active. So let me again copy this. Yeah. Okay, again it gives some error. The name was not found. Okay, let me restart this machine. And before restart this machine, just open local users and groups of this machine. Just open administrators group property and add your servers group which you created earlier, so that computer account, CM computer account also can get admin rights of this machine. And in future, we can use machine account to install any roles and features. And now restart this machine. After that, we need to install some roles. We need to install some software. The first we need to install ADK and WinP. And then we need to install SQL Server. So why we require ADK and what is ADK and WinP? Actually, ADK is a software of Microsoft which provides some operating system deployment features. So this is a prereq, and without install ADK, we cannot install SCCM server. So this is must prereq, and it provides operating system deployment. Mainly, it will be used for operating system deployment. So in earlier versions, Microsoft was giving both features in a single ISO file, but now Microsoft has separated these two things. So separately, we have to download ADK and WinP. So I already downloaded these two things in our SCCM machine. Let me log in. In SCCM machine on C drive, CM media folder, I already copied our ADK installation media. So ADK 2004 version we will use. And I guess right now Microsoft has released ADK for Windows 11. They have released. So we can use it. ADK 2004, just open it and double click on ADK setup file. Yes, we want to install on this folder. Next. We can use any option and accept. So there is a lot of features, and not all the features are mandatory, but yeah, there is some features are mandatory, like a deployment tool is mandatory, USMT is mandatory, and what others? So these two things are mandatory: deployment tools and USMT is mandatory features that you need to select. And all other features you can unselect, but it depends on you guys, how do you want to use it. So I'm using all the features because in future I can use these features, like ISD is a feature which is used to customize your image, so that in future maybe I can require this. So that's why I'm taking this, so that again I don't need to install it. Click on install, click on yes. It has successfully completed. Click on close, go to back, and now install WinPE. So this is also a mandatory feature which you need to install, and separately you will have to download it. So just double click on ADK WinPE setup file. Yes, we want to install this on the same folder. Next, accept. And this is a heavy feature. So around 5.5 GB it will take. Disk space estimated it require 5.5 GB. So this is the only feature in this installer file, and click on install. WinPE is also has been successfully installed. Close it. Now we need to install SQL Server. So we will install SQL Server 2019 in this machine. I already copied our installer media, SQL Server 2019 Enterprise. So this is the ISO. Just mount it and double click on your setup file. Yes. So SQL Server will actually in SQL Server we create a database, and in database we will have all the data of our SCCM, like inventory data, applications data, patching data. So all those details will get stored in this database. So how you can install SQL Server and which version of SQL Server you can use it. So SQL Server 2019, I guess it is the latest version. So I will use latest version because we will install SCCM MECM 2103. You can check its compatibility on Google, like which version it can support. So in our case, we will install SQL Server 2019. Just open double click on your setup file and click on installation, and there is a option new SQL Server standalone installation or add feature to an existing installation. Click on this. Click on next. If you have license key, you can enter. Otherwise, you can use it for evaluation version. It will be free for around 180 days, I guess. Next. Next. Now we need to choose some feature that is mandatory. So there is a mandatory feature, database engine services. So this is the mandatory feature which we must select, and all other things it depends on you guys. Like if you want to use those features, then you can check it. Otherwise, don't select all other things. In earlier versions of SQL Server, we had included SQL Server Management Studio and reporting services. But in the latest version, they have uh, differentiated. They have separately launched it, and now we just need to choose database engine services, and we need to install SQL Server Management Studio and reporting services later on through different installer file. In our case, we can install it on C drive, but yes, we have some different drives. So we have E drive where we have around 40 GB space, and F drive 40 GB space, and G drive we have around 70 GB space. So in G drive we will use create its database, and other drive we will use for our other services. So this is E drive, and simply replace E drive instance root directory or this side. Yeah, in E drive we will create its instance root directory. So this is not a drive where our database will get created. So simply it will create instance root directory and some shared features directory. So we will configure it on E drive. Click on next. So automatically it will create other folders like program files, Microsoft SQL Server, and all other things. We can take default instance, like default instance it will create with the name of MS SQL Server, and you can create your own custom instance. Just click on named instance and provide the any custom instance name. But for this you will have to configure some extra things like in my case I will use default instance MS SQL Server. So instance is the thing under instance of our database will get created. Click on next. In service account, we will have to provide the service account through which we want to manage our SQL services. So let me use our SCCM admin account. Yes, we want to manage our SQL services with the same account. So you can copy it, you can paste it, and you can provide the password. So this is my password, and you can copy it and provide in both location. In startup type, let me use automatic, and make sure in collation it should be SQL Latin General CP1 CIAS. This should be collation name. If your installer file have different collation, then you will face some problem to install SCCM server. So ensure collation name should be this. Click on next. Now we can use Windows authentication mode and just click on add current user. You can add one more user. Yes, I will use administrator account. And in data directories, guys, there are some other options in data directories, like where your data root directory and where you will store your database. So I will use our G drive for this. So just provide the G path. And for other things, you can okay. So user database directory will get create on the same drive. It's fine. And user database log directory, yes, we want to change it. We will use other drive for this, F drive. So let me use ftry. Simply you can change the folder name also, like same name like Microsoft SQL Server, and log. And you should define a different directories so that your backup DB backup should be created there. So in my case, I can use the same drive like G drive because I don't have more drives. I just have E, F, and G drive. So let me use the same drive for backup. Yeah, then go to temp DB. Actually, you also can customize something, and database directory, ensure your database directory should be this, and this one also should be, and total initial size. Okay, it is fine. So guys, temp db data files, actually these NDF file will get created, so you can change the size of these log files and database size. So initial size is 8 MB. Auto growth, it can auto growth up to like 64, you can configure it. And initial size, you can check it like 1024 or any other. So default is okay. Max dope, like this is the processor, so that your SQL server can use how many processor your SQL server can use simultaneously, so that you can configure it. And click on memory, and in earlier versions we had to change it later through SQL Server Management Studio, but now in SQL Server 2019 uh, we can set our memory at the time of installation. So just click on recommended, automatically it will calculate. So there is minimum server memory and maximum server memory. So you automatically it will calculate minimum and maximum. So in minimum it takes default 0. So let us provide some value for 096, so that minimum 4 GB RAM it can take, and maximum around 6 GB it can take. So then click here to accept the recommended memory configuration for the SQL Server database engine. Why we are why we are using this recommended method? Because SQL Server have a habit like it consumes all resource including RAM and CPU, so that we can define a limit so that SQL Server cannot use more than the specified RAM. And simply click on next. Click on install. Finally, we can see our SQL Server has been successfully installed. Click on close it. Now we have to install SQL Server Management Studio. So yes, we have SQL Server Management Studio. This is just a tool to access your database and some roles and permissions. So once it will complete, then click on close, and now you can install SQL Server cumulative update. So I already downloaded a SQL Server 2019 latest cumulative update. So how you can apply this? Simply double click on this, click on yes. Ensure if you already install reporting services, it will remove reporting services feature. So we didn't install reporting services feature yet, so we can apply this hotfix cumulative update. I accept, next, and it is asking on which instance you want to use. Yes, in this instance we want to use, and click on next. It's checking. And click on next, update. It will take some time. So after applying this update, simply we need to start our SCCM installation. So at the time of SCCM installation, we will have to uh, choose something like what would be our site code, what would be our site name, and uh, role selection on which server. So these type of things we have to keep in mind. So let it be complete, and then I will show you how to install SCCM. So this will be our last step. So finally we applied our update or fix on this machine. Click on close and click on cancel. So let it restart final, because we have installed roles and features. We have added a lot of things. So before install SCCM server, just restart last time. Again, log in with SCCM admin account. So now go for SCCM installation. Before that, users can ensure your SQL Server services should be in running mode. So yeah, our SQL Server, MS SQL Server services is in running mode. So guys, reporting services we will install in later, and it is not a mandatory feature. We can install it later, and in my second video I will show you how you can configure and how you can install reporting services thing. So in C drive, I already extracted our SCCM installation media. In C drive, we have a folder MEM config MGR2103. So just open this and double click on your supplies file. This is installer file. So double click on supplies file. And click on install button. Yes. Click on next. Now we have to define which type of structure you want to create. So do you want to create a cache site or do you want to create a primary site? So yes, we want to create a primary standalone site. So I'm taking this option, install a configuration manager primary site, and don't use this typical installation option because I am not going with typical installations. So click on next. And if you have license key, you can provide license key. Otherwise, you can use the evaluation edition. So it will be free for 180 days. So next, and choose the license agreement and click on next. So now, actually, this is also an important thing. So SCCM requires some language file for our server and client. So it needs to download those files from internet. So if you already have downloaded those files from any other machine, then you can use this option and you can provide that path where you have downloaded those files. But if you haven't downloaded those files earlier, then you can use this option and then simply provide the path like where it can download those files. So I already downloaded those files. For this, you should have an internet connection. And I already downloaded those files, so I will use this option, and let me show you guys where I place those files. So in CM Media, I have created a folder prereq. So in this folder, I already downloaded those files. Okay, so just copy this path and provide this path and click on next. So guys, like if internet is not working in your SCCM machine, so how you can download these files from a other machine where internet is running? So let me show you. In our SCCM installation media, there is a folder SMS setup bin x64. So there is a file setup DLL. So you just need to double click on this file, and then it will ask you to provide the location where you want to download those files. So you just need to run this exe on a machine where internet is working and just click on download. So it will download all required files, and then you can copy those files on your SCCM machine. So now you can see it is for server language selection. So by default, English language is selected. Yes, I want to use only English language. So click on next. And now it is saying for client language selection. So yes, it is for English language. If you want to use any other, then you can check that checkbox. And in my case, I want to use only English language. So next, now it is a very important page, and it is asking us to provide site code and site name. So site code will be 3-digit code. Any name you can, like IND, GGN, PRI, or anything you can provide. Like let me provide IND and provide your site name. So for example, I want to use Gurugram. And now it is asking, where do you want to install your SCCM server. So in my case, guys, I have G drive. So let me install our SCCM server on G drive, because G drive is around 70 GB. So just change the G name. And yes, we want to install the console as well. So select this option, click on next. Now it is saying, do you want to join this machine into an existing hierarchy? No, we don't have any cache, and we don't want to join this primary site under a cache site. We want to create a primary standalone site. So choose this primary standalone site option. Next. And this is just a information. Do you want to continue? Yes, because right now we can have an option like later we can expand our hierarchy. We can add cache site later. So yes, we want to continue. Now it is saying where you have installed SQL servers. If in your case, like if you have installed SQL Server in different machine, then you will have to provide SQL Server path here. So simply provide the SQL Server name and instance name. Instance name you don't need to provide if you are using default instance. In my case, I'm using default instance MS SQL Server, so I don't need to provide it manual. So it will be the database. So CM means configuration manager underscore IND. IND means the site code which you have provided. So it will create a SCCM database with the name of CM underscore IND. And this is the default port. Simply click on next, and yes, we proceed further. So earlier at the time of SQL installation, we have provided the G path. So yeah, it already taken G path, and click on next. And yes, this is the server where we are installing SMS provider. So if in your case, if you want to install SMS provider on any different server, then you will have to provide the different server name. But yes, we want to use SMS provider is a very important role. It provides read and write access on our objects. So yes, we want to install SMS provider on the same row, same machine. Next. And this is also very important thing. How do you want to communicate your client machine to server? So do you want to communicate your client to server with HTTPS or HTTP? So if you want to communicate your client machine with SCCM to with HTTP, then you will have to select this option. Otherwise, you will have to choose HTTPS. But for HTTPS, you will require some extra configuration. You should have a PKI infrastructure. But yeah, I can configure it later. So as of now, I want to use HTTP only. So choose the second option and click on next. Yes, we want to install management point and DP. These are the optional but important roles. Management point and DP. It is saying, do you want to install these roles on the same machine? Yes. Next and next. This is for service connection point role. Actually, it is saying, do you want to install this role also? It is this is a role through which we get the updates of SCCM. We get the information about updates of SCCM so that we can get up to date of our SCCM. Yes, we want to install it. Next, and this is the summary. Click on next. Now it will check all the things. And it is saying a warning, WSUS on site server. Actually, this is you can ignore it. WSUS on site, you can ignore it because we can install it later. And the second, verify site permission. So if you are able to see begin install, then you are good to go. But if you are getting multiple errors and warnings and begin install option is not coming, then you will have to fix those things. So right now it is saying SQL Server memory allocation because we don't have enough RAM, so we can skip it and simply click on begin install. So once you click on begin install, guys, it will take around 1 hour and 2 hour, depends on your system speed. Um, so it will take around 1 and 2 hour to complete it. Then you can check it. So as of now, if you want to track it, like how the installation is running, so you can read some logs that will create it on C drive, config mgr prereq setup and setup wizard. So right now, like what it is doing, so you can read it through these logs. So I'm just pausing this video as of now, so I will resume it once it will complete its process. So guys, finally we can see CM had successfully installed, and it took around 44 minutes to complete this process. So click on close, cancel, and now simply you can check after open SCCM console. Now you can see it is trying to connect its site database MECM-SCCM.cisco.com, and it has successfully connected. Let me reopen this. Yeah. So you can see it is for 180 days, and it is connected to its IND site code, and Gurugram is the site name. So you can open administration, expand site configuration, and click on site. So you can see this is your primary site and which version you have installed. So click on this and click on about configuration manager. So now you can see the current branch 2103 version has been successfully installed in this machine. So guys, thank you for watching this video. In this video, we have learned about how to install SCCM 2103.